And now I'm delighted to introduce my colleague, Paul Ben Ishai, who is an expert in bioelectromagnetics and who is the director of the Laboratory of Dielectric and Terahertz Science. Professor Ben Ishai has submitted testimony to the FCC, which is among the testimony that was ignored and that the court specifically referenced in its ruling, saying that there were thousands of statements that had not been taken into account by the agency. Dr. Ben Ishai, please.
Hi, Deborah. Thank you very much for this opportunity to speak. I'd just like to make one small correction. The 1996 standards actually have their roots way back into 1957 with the work by the Tri-Services Commission. If you'd like to read about that, you can find it on the blog that I do publish, and is also on the EHT website. So the standards are extremely old and completely non-relevant to the modern age of the cell phone itself. Cell phones are with us to stay. We have to admit that they've changed our society. They've changed the way we act and interact with each other. But it doesn't mean that we must be a slave to that particular technology. So therefore, this ruling is highly important not just in the United States, but also in the world itself. Because what will happen in the United States will then trickle down to the rest of the world as we follow the lead given by the United States and its exposure regulations. I'm very happy to hear that, in fact, the court has taken this into consideration and has demanded that the FCC take, for probably the first time, a proper look at what the science really does say, because I'd like to reiterate what Frank has just said. The science is very clear. There are definite biological effects at intensities far lower than those allowed by the current regulations, and they do have negative effects on us and should be taken into consideration. I also fully agree with Frank. Take 4 engineers, stick them in a closed room, and they will come up with a solution which is biologically safe, and they should be allowed to do so. However, only if regulation will force them to do it will that happen. I would like to point out one point, that I am unhappy and sad that the US court did not agree with the position about the NTP study, and in fact dismissed it. I think they are mistaken here, and they are mistaken because they looked at nomenclature, they looked at the words 3G, 4G, that's not 5G, but they didn't look at what the mechanics of transmissions really are. When you look at the mechanics of the transmissions, how signals are in fact sent from base stations to cell phones and back, you find out that the mechanics are very similar for the 3G, for the 4G, and for the 5G. They're all using the basic idea of orthogonal frequency division multiplexing. This means that whatever is going to cause cancer in mice with 3G and 4G signals, or 2G signals, is also going to do the same with 5G signals. And as we well know, what causes cancer in mice, as we've seen in terms of chemicals, as we've seen in terms of other toxicology programs, eventually will cause cancer in us. So I hope that the US court will be able to reconsider that particular part of their ruling, because I believe they are in fact mistaken there. You need expert witness, and they did not use expert witness in this particular case. As I say, it is about time that the FCC be held accountable, and I think it's about time that it look at the real science. Thank you.